Okay, so got the 930 and the box blade in the shop, and I wanted to show you one of the problems I had with it is this tongue style hitch. This works really good for a tractor that has a forked drawbar, or I guess that's what you'd call it. Anyway, I wanted to build a forked tongue, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. I'm sure there's a good name for it. Somebody probably knows what it is. Anyway, this had a pin welded through it, so I couldn't take that one out. I didn't like that because I'm going to keep this one, and if I ever use it on a bigger tractor, I can put that back on it. All I'd have to do is pull this pin. So anyway, this is going to make this will set everything up a little more level. One of the problems I had with it before is it was always nose down. And when it's nose down, these ends get into the dirt too quick. So right now it's sitting just about right. It's for the 930, got the height about right on it. And I got that hitch done. I'll throw up a couple pictures of it. Next project I got going on here is, I don't know how much I've talked about this before, but these holes are really worn out. Excuse me. So replacing these two pieces with, I've already got these cut out and drilled. And when I put these on, these are actually a little bit thinner than the originals, but I think they're thick enough. I may regret that, I don't know. But I am going to put a piece of plate under it here and tie this together with these two pieces. You can kind of see these are bowed out. Might have been that way when it was built. Whoever put it together tried to put some weld in the middle there. And it don't look like it turned out too good, but what I could do is change the design on it, move things around. I don't know. I don't think I want to do that though. One of the other problems I see is there's nothing to really keep this shaft from moving side to side. So, well, right now it's all the way, I guess it's as far this way as it can go because of that weld. But I'd kind of like to get this centered back up on the frame, and then maybe I may weld a piece of steel on each side of this pipe just to keep it centered up. Little things, nothing major. But there's so much slack in this, you lose a lot of the height. You can't really raise it as high as you could if it was right. You can see lots of slack. Got new holes drilled. They're nice and tight, 1-inch pins. Another project is this, you can see this plate here. It's been repaired, kinda. Not sure what you call that. This hole's not in too bad a shape, but this one's really worn. That's the one that goes down like that. So once again, I'm just going to try to take the slack out of it so that this thing, if you want to put weight, like the weight of the back tires on the box, it'll actually pick them up off the ground. Also, it'll give it more lifting height for when you're, if you got a big rock or a big pile of dirt you're trying to dump. So just some odd and end things. And then another thing I might do, I'm not sure if I'll get to it today, but I'd like to put a bracket on here so that I can put the pole from the dozer for my laser receiver on here. Ideally it would be in the center of the box, but also ideally it should be about on top of the blade. And you can see the frame is actually tilted down. This is where the box blade should run when it's running, but So what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to do is come off the side here, come out beside this cylinder with a bracket for the machine. And I don't know which side to go off of. Maybe that side, because it might be a little easier to see if I'm turning around to the right. My receiver does have the remote option on it, so I can look at it, see the display on my phone. So I can have my phone on the tractor, I won't have to look backwards anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But what I'm thinking here is that pole's got a lot of, I mean, it's my cows are talking. There's a lot of vibration, I guess, if you will, on something like that. So what I'm thinking, I've got some big heavy, I think it's 3/8 thick angle iron, 3x5 or 3x6, maybe 4x6. I might see about putting a piece of that on there and then maybe notch out the angle iron so one leg can come down, just to give it more stability. But like I say, for now I'm going to rebuild this piece. I'm going to cut these off, and we're going to go from there. I think kind of what I got in mind for today. I didn't video any of making the other part, but I did make the other part out of a piece of banana link off of the B95. I've got some extra ones. Those were some that were wore out. And I wanted to show you, the pinhole was a little big in them. So I ended up taking some pipe and sleeving it. I could get a little, that's 1 1/4 pin. I could probably get 1 3/16. Maybe 1.5 inches. But it's gonna be better than what I had. Anyway, that was yesterday's project. I welded all that up with the little tombstone, the little Lincoln. And I've got some rod that's AC/DC. This was a free welder. It seems to burn a little hotter than what the data plate says, I think. Maybe, I don't know. But the more I use it, the more I actually kind of like it. It's AC only, but if you use AC/DC rod, and you can get 7018 AC/DC. This is not a high quality, you know, this is a cheap China made rod, but it'll produce a pretty good weld. And it says AC or DC, 140 to 180 amps, and that's a 532. That's what I was running yesterday. A little bit bigger than, a lot of times I just use 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch is a good common all-purpose rod. 532, you get a little bit more build, and when you're welding something thicker like that, it's kind of nice to have the extra. Anyway, basically all that is a piece of tubing that I bought that fits the pin size pretty good. I cut it to fit inside the tongue, and then welded the 2 pieces of extra backhoe parts on it. When I make this next piece, I'm going to be using, when I make this one, I'm going to be using some more extra backhoe parts. So, enough talking. I'm out here in the shop today working on, I think I did a little bit of footage on this. I can't remember how much I did, but this is a kind of a triangle shaped piece off of my box blade, my big 10-foot box blade I pull with the 930. You can see it's been damaged pretty badly here. A cylinder has ran into it there, looks like. I was just going to re-drill these holes, but this one's been welded up so much that it's kind of hard to not run a drill bit. And this hole's elongated, you know, just big. Anyway, this is a couple pieces of backhoe I got left over. I used this one to make the hitch. It used to look like that, so I used either side of it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to weld this piece to this piece, and it will make a piece of steel big enough. And all I'm trying to do here is just use up some stuff that just, you know, stuff that I've got several of these laying around out here. These are wore out, the holes are watered out. They don't have bushings. I could have a machine shop fix them. Not sure it's worth the effort. But anyway, this is just some steel I had laying around. I didn't have any 3/4 inch plate that big, so I'm gonna make a piece that'll work. So after I weld this to this, then I will come back in and I'll cut these, I'll cut the shapes out. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna preheat just a little bit. When you're cutting thicker steel, especially with a small torch like I have, it ain't the size of your torch, damn it. That's how you use it. Anyway, it's always good to preheat thicker steel when you're gonna cut it. And I'm not probably gonna get this perfect. It's been a minute since I've beveled anything. Bevels always work better if you preheat though, always. Better lock the brakes on my table here so it don't go with me. But I'm just gonna cut about I don't know, 30, 40, 45 maybe. That's a whole lot of bevel. Probably could have went a little bit thinner, or not so angled, I guess. Thinner, less of an angle. But I always find that if I'm pulling the torch, not trying to push it, I do a better job. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Nothing a little grinding won't fix. I'll get that cleaned up and then we'll get some welding going here in a minute. All right, here we go. buff it out a little bit there. Yeah, not pretty, not perfect. So we are going to run some 532 This is a AC or DC 7018. It says to run 140, 180 amps. So crank up the should be about 150 there. And I still think this welder burns hotter than it's supposed to. Now I might be wrong, but you guys let me know what you think when you hear it weld. Good and hot. So to try to keep it from warping, I'm just going to alternate sides. Oh, a big old ugly gap there. Like I say, that little welder just does all right. This may be my final pass on this side, so I'm gonna have to try to, well, I don't know. There might be 2 passes on this side. I'm gonna say that's done. The welding part's done anyway. I haven't done a lot of cutting lately, so bear with me, I'm a little out of practice. awkward position there. And we got a fire. Oh well, just an oily rag. You probably shouldn't torch things out over an oily rag. It's just kind of common sense, but we'll see how good my weld is when I cut through it. Not too bad. Our second fire. I'll burn something up today probably. Ah, that was bad. Bad restart there. Well, it ain't awful. Not the greatest. It'll do. That's hot. Uh-oh. Something didn't cut. That's kind of a weird looking piece of steel now, isn't it? Well, it might work. Okay, there's the finished product. I got the holes drilled. I just used a mag drill, the one I normally use, but yeah, I think it's going to work. I'm going to go put it on the box blade and we'll see how it fits. Yeah, we'll see. 9:30 will start today. Well, a lot of smoke. Might work. Probably going to get stuck. works pretty well. Like I say, I kind of wish it would go down a little deeper, but I like the way it raises up high, so it's all right. It's gonna work all right just like it is. Good enough.